Okay, so Harry spent years telling the world his dad was cold, distant, unloving. He wrote an entire book about it, did interviews about it, cried about it on Netflix. And then King Charles took one photograph with his grandson and accidentally destroyed every single thing Harry ever said. And that's not even the most dramatic part of today's video, because we also need to talk about Harry's face at the coronation. Because that face told us everything. Stay with me, because this one is going to hit different.
So let's go back to May 6th, 2023. Westminster Abbey, King Charles III's coronation. One of the most historic moments in modern royal history. And where is Prince Harry? Third row. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, third row is still pretty good, right? Wrong. Because you have to understand what Harry could have had at this coronation versus what he actually got. If Harry had not spent the previous 3 or 4 years going absolutely scorched earth on his entire family, the interviews, the Netflix documentary, the book Spare, which had only been out 4 months at this point, he probably would have been right up front alongside William. He might have even had an active role in the ceremony itself. Instead, third row, partially hidden behind Princess Anne's hat. And honestly, that hat situation became its own whole drama, and I am here for it.
So Princess Anne shows up to her brother's coronation wearing this enormous red feathered hat. And it just so happens that this hat perfectly blocks Harry's view and blocks photographers from getting clear shots of Harry. Now, Princess Anne later came out and explained, "Look, this is just the traditional hat for my uniform. I wasn't trying to block my nephew." Which, honestly, I believe, because Anne does not strike me as someone who plays petty hat games. But Harry and his supporters online?
But forget the hat for a second. Because what really got people talking were the photographs of Harry's face during the ceremony. And specifically, the moment he was caught looking over at William. Now, I want you to think about what must be going through his mind in that moment. Because this is where it gets deeply human and actually kind of sad. William is up front. William has a prominent, active role. William is the future king standing proudly at his father's coronation. And Harry is sitting in the third row, in a suit, watching it all happen. The opportunities he threw away, the bridges he burned, the relationships he destroyed, all of it probably hitting him at once in that moment. Because
Okay, now this is the part I've been waiting to talk about, because this is where things get really interesting. One of Harry's biggest claims, and he repeated this in Spare, in interviews, everywhere, was that King Charles was emotionally cold, distant, not affectionate, didn't really show love to his children in a warm, physical way. And then a photograph surfaced of King Charles hugging Prince Louis. And I need to describe this photo to you because words almost don't do it justice. Prince Louis, who was 2 years old at the time this was taken, is completely squished against King Charles's face. His little arm is wrapped cozily around his grandfather's neck. His whole body is turned into Charles. He is completely relaxed, completely comfortable, completely at home in his grandfather's arms. And King Charles, you can see the tenderness in his eyes, pure delight, pure love. Now, here's what's important to understand about toddlers. And I say this as someone who has seen how toddlers react to people they're not comfortable with. A 2-year-old cannot fake comfort. A 2-year-old will scream, run away, hide behind mom or dad, say, "Get away from me." They will do literally anything to avoid physical closeness with someone they don't know well or aren't comfortable with. You cannot force a 2-year-old to hug you like that. It is impossible. Which means Prince Louis has an established, warm, loving relationship with King Charles. Which means King Charles is not the cold, distant figure Harry described in his book. And then there's this photo of William that I cannot stop thinking about. Father's Day 2024, a beach in Norfolk. William in a casual hoodie and hat, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis all around him, looking out at the sea together. Catherine took this photo, and knowing the context of when she took it, that she was still going through cancer treatment at the time, barely beginning to step back into public life, gives it an emotional weight that just hits you in the chest. She was watching the loves of her life, and she captured it. And what strikes me about this photo is that it's everything the Sussex photos are not. There's no performance here, no carefully staged PR moment, no message being sent. Just a dad in a hoodie on the beach with his kids. This is what genuine family closeness looks like when it's captured in a photograph. The physical closeness is not.
So here's my honest POV on all of this. And this is the part I really want you to think about. Harry made a choice. Actually, Harry made a series of choices. He chose to write the book. He chose to do the interviews. He chose to burn every bridge available to him. And every single one of those choices had consequences. Third row at the coronation instead of standing alongside his brother. Watching from behind a feathered hat while William stood at the front of Westminster Abbey. And now, living in California, watching photographs of his father tenderly hugging his nephew, a nephew Harry's own children probably barely know. Because that's the thing nobody talks about. Archie and Lilibet are growing up without that, without the big family Christmases, without the cousins, without the grandfather who clearly has so much love to give.
That is my honest POV, and I want to know yours. Drop it in the comments right now. Do you think Harry regrets his choices? Or do you think he's still convinced he did the right thing? And that photograph of King Charles hugging Louis, does that change how you see Harry's claims about his dad being cold and distant? Because for me, it changed everything. Subscribe if you're new to the Meghan Markle Report, because we break down royal drama like this every single week. Real talk, honest POV, no fluff. Hit that bell so you never miss the tea. See you in the next one.